Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm filming a pretty much like a chit chat get ready with me, but I'm going to be featuring a bunch of like new products that I haven't like used a lot before. A lot of it is new high-end makeup that I've got as well as new drugstore stuff. So I'm going to kind of be doing like a first impression type style video, like chit chat get ready with me first impression / using new makeup. I have no idea what I'm going to call this, and I didn't even have any idea of what makeup look I was going to create today. I just sat down and started filming, and this is what I created. I freaking love it so far though. I think that the purple smoky eye with like the dark brown lip is so freaking fall. Can we talk about this lip color so far though? Like, let's just eat it up for a second. I'll stop talking so you guys can absorb this brown. So yeah, this intro isn't going to be too long. I want to get right into the get ready with me. So if you guys are interested in seeing me create this look, go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so I just freshly washed my face and I put on the First Aid Beauty Daily Face Cream. This is a really good moisturizer for oily skin because it absorbs very fast and it doesn't leave like an oily residue or texture on the skin. So I always like to use this before I put makeup on because it'll give it hydration. And then I put on the Total Age Defy Eye and Lip Cream from Sephora collection. I've been loving this under eye cream for before putting on concealer because it preps the area so nice. It'll make your under eye area look a little bit more illuminated and hydrated so that when you put concealer on, your concealer looks more flawless and more smooth. For my primer today, I'm going to be testing out the Master Prime from Maybelline. This is supposed to be really good for blurring your skin as well as canceling out redness. So I'm going to take a little bit on my fingers like this and just kind of warm it up. And then I'm just going to lightly kind of like blend it into my T-zone area. This is the area that I have the most redness. It has a really lightweight texture to it, so that's kind of what I like about it so far. I've used it a couple times now. I can tell that it kind of blurred my nose area already. I don't know what you guys think on camera so far, but it looks pretty nice to me. It feels lightweight and it absorbs pretty fast. So far I like this primer. I don't know if it did a lot for my redness and like pink tones in my T-zone area. I just feel like at this point my skin tone is just red and pink. I don't think any like concealer like this or like green corrector will really help that much. For concealer, I'm going to be going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I have this in the shade 15. When I first got this, I didn't really like this concealer, but after using it for a while, I kind of like it. I don't know if it's just because I had to like let it dry for a little bit for me to think it's a little bit better. Because like when I first started using it, I felt like it would just like blend away and I would put it on and I wouldn't like get coverage from it. So to blend it out, I'm going to go in with my, you know, trusted damp beauty blender and just do that in a little bit more of a stippling motion. For foundation, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Moisturizing Silk Cream Foundation. I've been obsessed with this since I filmed my first impressions on it. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I already raved about it in the review. So if you guys want to see that, I will link it in this video as well as in the description. To apply the foundation, I'm going to be using my beauty blender again. I'm using the bigger side for the foundation and the thinner side for my under eye area. I feel like if I just keep going back and forth and blending each side on my face, it just blends everything so seamlessly. And just to let you guys know, I have fallen in love with this method of applying this foundation. As you guys saw in my review, I was kind of having a hard time applying it with the Laura Mercier sponge, and I ended up using a brush. And the brush gave it really good coverage too, but I just feel like the beauty blender works a little bit better. I'm wondering if it's because I didn't get my Laura Mercier sponge wet, so that might be why I didn't like get that much coverage from it, because it had a little bit of a hard time blending it out. I have been loving this foundation so far. If you guys still haven't tried it, you have to go get a sample, because it is literally the silkiest texture in the world. It feels like amazing on the skin. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more because, you know, I need extra coverage. I love how it gives me coverage but doesn't give me like the makeup look. It looks like skin texture. Okay, I seriously need to slow down. I was so excited to put my foundation on that I forgot to test out this eye primer I was going to show you guys. This is the Benefit Air Patrol. This comes in one color. It's supposed to be pretty much like a BB cream for your eyes where it preps it for eyeshadow and also gives it a little bit of color. It has an innovative applicator as well. The applicator is so interesting. It's like a soft jelly type, and what you do is you click it once per eye and you get the applicator, you get the product on the applicator like this, if you guys can see. You can put it on your eyelid like that and then blend it with your finger or a sponge. I'm definitely going to use my beauty blender because I already have it out and I don't want to get my fingers dirty. But you can put it pretty much everywhere up there and down here if you want to, but I already put concealer on because I was so excited that I forgot to like prime my eyes. But so far the applicator feels nice and the texture of the product feels thin, which I like. It's not heavy. And I'm also noticing that it's really cool. Like actual like cold, like not cool like cool, like cool like cold. My eyes are just like chilled right now. I'm gonna use my beauty blender to blend that out again and just kind of stipple it. I really like the texture of the Benefit Air Patrol. It blended away really fast. It's very lightweight, but as you can see, it's pigmented. So next I'm going to go in with a little bit more concealer. I'm going to be using the NYX HD Concealer. I have this in the shade 2. This is a little bit lighter than the first shade, so I like it a little bit better. I'm doing this to add a little bit more coverage under my eye, as well as give me a little bit more highlight. And I'm going to blend, blend, blend. Now that we are blended out, I'm going to go ahead and use the Coty Airspun and I'm going to set my face. I always like to set my eyelid area first because that's where I tend to crease more. So I always put on a lot of translucent powder and just let it like sit and bake for a little bit. This is all you have to do to cook or bake your makeup. Besides like inhaling the powder, this is what you need to do to set your makeup. I always just put like so much excess on my face and let it sit and cook and like set my face just so all my foundation dries. And then usually after I let it sit for like 5 or so minutes, I'll kind of like wipe off the excess and then I'll go in with my setting spray. If you ever feel like your makeup comes off, make sure you are putting enough powder on, because if you don't let your foundation dry and like set it with the powder, it will slip and slide around. For my setting spray, I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Setting Spray. Not gonna lie, I like the Smashbox one a lot better. But if you cannot afford it, this is a really good drugstore one. If you have any other drugstore favorite setting sprays, let me know because I really want to invest in more. So next for my under eyes, I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I always use this shade in Condensant. Am I saying that right? I like all of these colors, but I just always gravitate towards this one. I don't know why. I feel like this is a little bit more bronzy. This one, I don't know, I like it, but I just don't really use it that much. I always just get my little e.l.f. brush, swirly swirl swirl, and then just sweep it on my under eye area. This is just a really good way to make the under eye area look more illuminated and more bright. If you've not tried these Hourglass powders yet, I really recommend that you go get them. And then for my bronzer, I'm going to be using my Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. I believe I have this in the shade 251, but it's so small I can't read it, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I will link it in the description, but I'm pretty sure it's 251. As you can see, it's a really pretty bright orange shade to give you a little bit more of a bronze. I'm going to use a bigger size fluffy powder brush and just kind of dip it in here. A lot of people are kind of complaining about these so far, saying they're not pigmented, but I kind of like it because you kind of have to build it up. So it makes it a lot better because you don't apply too much because you have to build it. So if you really want to, you can get your brush wet, like with Fix Plus or like the Smashbox Primer Water to make it a little bit more pigmented. But I'm just going to apply it the regular way to show you guys how to just work with it and build it up for people that don't have primer water or whatever. Yeah, see, I just feel like it builds up so pretty. I honestly love this color. I have no complaints with it at all. It's a beautiful bronzer shade. I don't mess around when it comes to putting on bronzer. I feel like with bronzer, more is more and less is not enough. So for my blush, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. blush palette in the second darker shade. I'm just going to use a little bit of this one right here. I'm not going to go like heavy with the blush today. So I'm using an angled brush and just putting that gorgeous color on my cheekbones. See how a little bit of color, it goes a freaking long way. And then just slightly blend, blend, and blend. So what I always do to blend my blush out a little bit more, I take that same e.l.f. blush that I did with my highlight, the Hourglass powder, and I just lightly take that brush with no excess product on it and just kind of do circle motions just on the apple of my cheek so that it kind of pushes the blush back down and doesn't make it have that harsh line. It helps it blend it out a little bit, but I'm gonna go in with more highlight later. This is just a little bit of a trick that I use if I go too high with my blush. So I feel like I want to give myself a little bit more coverage on my T-zone area, so I'm going to go in with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I just recently got this and I've used it a few times now. I don't like absolutely love it, but I don't have any like complaints with it. I mean, I like it, but I just am not like noticing anything like that spectacular about it. Like, it's good and stuff, but I don't know. I like it, but it seems kind of chalky, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see. I haven't been using it for that long, so I'll keep you guys posted to see if I end up liking it a little bit more. But I'm putting a little bit like right here. Sorry, I'm looking in the viewfinder. I'm using it so I can see. But I'm putting a little bit more right here because I didn't like how heavy the blush was right there. So I'm using my foundation color as an eraser pretty much. So lastly for my cheeks, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Fergie Collection blush. Well, this isn't really a blush. It's kind of like a highlight, but this is in the shades 045 Rose Champagne Glow. I'm going to lightly add a little bit of this on my cheekbones, and then I'm going to go ahead and go start my eyebrows and my eye makeup. I like this color though because it has a little bit more of like a pinky flesh tone, so it gives you a little bit of a blush slash like highlight. It just like blends into the skin so beautifully and like so seamlessly. So don't hate me, but I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera. I've been kind of planning on filming an eyebrow or like an updated eyebrow tutorial, so I might be filming that soon. So if you guys want to see me actually go in depth with my eyebrows, let me know in the comments below and I'll film that soon. But yeah, so I'll be right back. I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera and then we'll do some eyeshadow. Alright, for my eyes today, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Le Palette Nude 2. I'm going to use a MAC powder first because this palette doesn't have any like matte light colors to highlight with. So first I'm going to be using the MAC Blanc type eyeshadow, and I'm going to be using that with a fluffier brush. And I'm pretty much just going to put that everywhere on my eye area, all the way from my lash line up to my eyebrow. This is going to just give it like a base for all the shadows to blend onto and just make everything one color. Now that I have my highlight down, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you guys can see a little bit better, and then we will continue. So the first step, I'm going to take this 6th shade in, which is this color right here. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's this one. I'm going to take that with a smaller crease brush. I'm going to buff that throughout the crease and keep the majority of it out in this outer corner. Now that I have most of it blended out, I'm going to go in with the Morphe M441 and just lightly diffuse it out a little bit more. This brush is clean, it has no shadow on it. I'm just very softly using it to buff out that color a little bit more. All I'm doing is taking that 6th shade in with the small brush, lightly adding a little bit, and then taking my Morphe M441 and then using that to blend it out a little bit more. You can make the outer corner as dark as you want. It's definitely up to your preference. The key is just applying a very small amount and then blending it out, and then applying a little bit more and then kind of softening it out. I'm just kind of like shaping that eye area right now. As you can see, I'm dragging it down a little bit to give it a little bit of a lifting illusion. So next I'm going to be going in with the last shade in, which is the 10th one right here. It's a really pretty dark, deep purple shade. I'm going to be using that with my Morphe M508, which is a very, very small, precise like smudge brush. I'm going to tap in a little bit in this outer corner and then blend it out again. So as you can see, I'm just kind of packing it in this outer corner area just to add a little bit more depth. So now that we have it placed, I'm going to take that same Morphe M441 and then just kind of lightly soften that out. But I'm not going to bring it too far into the inner corner because I want the majority of this purple to be in this outer corner. Next I'm going to go in again with a little bit more of this 6th shade in, which is this like deep warm brown. I'm going to take a little bit more of that deep brown shade with my small precision crease brush and just add a little bit more to the outer corner to help me blend out this purple shade. I'm just going to add a little bit right here. Using that same 6th shade in, I wish these had names so I can just call it a name, but it's shade number 6. I'm going to take a little bit more of that color and start to add it into this inner corner part now, just to add a little bit of depth into my inner corner crease. Then I'm going to take the Morphe M441 again and very softly diffuse my crease out a little bit more. This is how the eyes should look so far if you are following this tutorial. Don't worry too much about it if it's not symmetrical, because all you can do is try your best and get better every time you practice. So if your eyes aren't symmetrical like this or whatever, don't worry, because nobody even honestly cares. Just try your best, that's all you can do. So next I'm going to take a little bit more of like a highlight shade again. I'm going to do my inner corner slash like lid area. I'm going to use the first shade in right here, which is a little bit more of like a shimmery white. I'm going to take a little bit of that on just like a normal flat eyeshadow depositing brush, and I'm going to lightly dip it and then just very softly blend it on this area right here that I left empty. I was saving that area for this shadow. I'm just kind of like placing it down and then lightly blending it into the darker color, but I don't want to put too much on because I don't want it to make my eye makeup like muddy. Now that I have my lid color down, I'm taking that same Morphe M441 and just very softly blending it over those colors to make sure that white is blended into the purple colors. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of the purple into the outer corner to kind of redefine the outer corner. So I'm going to go in with the darkest purple shade right here again with my Morphe M441. And this is pretty much the last time I'm using the brush for this eyeshadow today. So that's why I'm getting it dirty with the dark purple pigment. I'm just going to take a very small amount, like literally, well, let me try to show you, like a little bit, if it'll focus. Only a tiny bit on the brush. So I'm taking that tiny bit and I'm going to put it there so that it helps darken up that outer corner again, just because that white kind of made it a little bit too bright right there. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. See how that kind of redefined the darker outer corner? Now that I'm happy with the shadow on the top lash line, I'm going to take my Morphe M508 with that dark deep purple shade right here, and I'm going to put a little bit of that on the bottom lash line. Now that I have the purple in the outer corner of the bottom lash line, I'm going to go in with this 6th shade in again, which is this beautiful brown matte shade, and I'm going to buff that with the crease brush on the bottom lash line to help me diffuse out that purple shade a little bit. Please ignore that I have purple eyeshadow on my contacts right now. We're gonna have to ignore that because I don't want to take my contacts out because then it'll make my eye makeup all runny and watery. Okay, so last eyeshadow step, I'm gonna take that highlight shade again, the one that I put on my lid area with the small kind of bullet sized brush, and I'm gonna take that shade, which is the first one in, and I'm gonna add that a little bit into this inner corner area to add a little bit more highlight, kind of right there, lightly blending it into this area. Oh my god, please ignore the purple dot in my eye. I'm gonna try to remove it in a second, if I can. But this is just a highlight, so I'm putting it right there and blending it into that inner corner. Let's add a lot more. Ooh, get that highlight, yes god. Next I'm gonna take my Tarte eyelash curler and I'm gonna curl these lashes before I put mascara on. For my mascara, I'm going to be testing out the new NARS Audacious Mascara. I just got this. Let's see what we think about it. Packaging, so cute. Red lid. Pretty, pretty. So first thing about this mascara, the brush. Super awesome. Thin size brush, not too big. Not too messy. Let's see how it performs. I always have the hardest time applying mascara without making a mess. So if I get black specks on my face while doing this, don't worry, I'll clean it up after it dries. But this mascara is nice so far. I like that it's not clumpy. So far so good, but we'll see. Let's do a little bit more. I'm gonna pull the eyelid taunt so I can get in there a little bit more. Try not to make a mess, don't want to mess up my eyeshadow. So what are we thinking about this mascara so far? One down, one to go. So far I like it. Let me apply to the other eye, then I will show you guys the final mascara look. So this is the NARS mascara on both of my top eyelashes. Ignore the fact that I have a hard time getting to the base of my lashes because my lashes are so blonde. Love this mascara so far, but I wish it was a little bit more lengthening. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Urban Decay Perversion one a lot better. It's because it like will lengthen them a lot longer and make them look way more false. I like this mascara, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit more thickening than lengthening, which is not my preference. I like lengthening more than thickening. So for my bottom mascara, I'm going to be going in with the Rimmel Scandal Eyes. I hauled this in my recent drugstore haul. I will link that video below if you guys have not seen it yet. I love this mascara for my bottom lashes only. I tested it out a few times and wore it on the top lashes, and I hated it because it literally made my lashes so flat and so down. It didn't lengthen them at all or really like give them any curl. It really was kind of disappointing because I went to work with this mascara on and it looked really cheap and bad on the top, but when I put it on the bottom lashes, I freaking love it. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of the Scandal Eye Mascara to my bottom lash line, which is the only place I'll put it. Sorry if it's hard to hear me, there's a train going by, but I am gonna just talk over it, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit loud in the background. But next I'm going to line my top and bottom waterline with a Lancome Drama Liquid Pencil. These just came out. They're pretty much like pencil eyeliners, but they're gel form. So they're really, really good for the waterline. Or if you want to do it on the top, but I'm going to be lazy because I'm really bad at like top eyeliner or winged liner. So I'm just going to do my waterline. This is only my second or third time using this eyeliner and I'm obsessed with it because it is so freaking pigmented and it glides on so easily. Do a little bit in the top waterline. This is a good way to thicken the look of your lashes and make it look like you have more. I'm gonna lift my lid a little bit so I can get in there tighter. Oh my god, I drew it on my freaking contact again. Can you guys tell so far how that thickens the look of the lash line? Real quick, I'm going to take a little bit more of my Hourglass Under Eye like ambient lighting powder, and I'm going to put that under there just to clean up the bottom lash line. If there's any like excess fallout, or if it's messy, I'm going to use this to kind of brighten the area again. Going in with a little bit more of that Rimmel mattifying powder just to kind of re-mattify the T-zone area. So for my lips today, I'm going to be using a Milani lipstick. I have this in the shade 38 Double Espresso. It's a very pretty deep, warm, brown, beautiful lipstick color. Look at this color and just eat it up and absorb it for a second. It is freaking so pretty. I don't know what it like smells like, but it smells freaking amazing. It doesn't have like a distinguished smell to me, but it just smells like really good. It almost smells kind of fruity. Makes me kind of hungry. But before I put that lipstick on, I'm going to line my lips with the OCC lip liner pencil. I have this in a very dark deep brown shade that matches that Double Espresso, but this is in the color Sybil, if I'm saying that right, S-Y-B-I-L. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with this, and then I'm going to apply the Milani lipstick. So this is the lip so far with just a lip liner. Honestly, this color even by itself is so freaking pretty. Such a good brown for fall. So now that my lips are lined, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the actual lipstick. It's so nice how you can smell the lipstick. Some people I feel like it might bother, but to me it smells really good, so I like it. I am so freaking obsessed with this lip color. Look at how freaking bomb this lip combo looks. OCC, Sybil, and Milani's 38 Double Espresso. Literally so freaking pretty. If this lip color does not scream fall, I don't know what would. So yeah, now that the lips are done, we are finished with this makeup tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this get ready with me. If you guys have any requests on further videos, let me know in the comments below. Also, I've been really wanting to film a question and answer video lately, so if you guys have any dying questions that you want me to answer in a video, make sure you leave them in the comments below and I might feature them in my question and answer whenever I film it. And please make sure if you guys recreate this look, let me know on Instagram or whatever you post it on. You can use the hashtag #BrandonEska, or you can reply me at @BrandonEska. But I would love to see your guys' recreations of any of my makeup looks that I do for you guys. Also subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my social media. I will link everything below in the description box. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in my next video.